What's going on, fight fans? Nick Pfeiffer here, and if you had a chance to watch UFC 280, it was a fantastic stacked show. I'm glad I didn't have any money on it because I would have lost a lot of fights. But let's get right down to the topic of this video, which is marketing in UFC 80. See, having been following this sport since its inception, I remember I used to be in college and I would actually go find the bars. It was really hard to actually watch the UFCs way back in the day. So, 1997, 98, I'd go find bars, but I wasn't old enough to actually I wasn't 21. So I'd go in my car and I would just sit out in front hoping that they'd be playing it on the patio so I can watch it. But as the sport has evolved, one of the things coming from a marketing standpoint that I'm always looking for is, do the fighters understand the promotion side of the business? Because listen, you could be the best fighter in the world, but if you don't know how to promote yourself, you're not going to be as successful as you can be. I really want to focus on what happened after the main event fight. Khabib came in to the interview, and the very first thing he did was he set the next match, which if you listen to Chael Sonnen, one of the things he always talks about is when that microphone is shoved in front of your face, you need to be getting the match is done, and the story for the next fight is what you're starting to create. And Khabib did a fantastic job of getting that going. And so by calling out Volkanovski, what it did is it now allowed them to create the framework and the story for the fight moving forward. It took it out of the promotion's hands and really just put it right there in the moment. And so the buildup is now already started. And that's what the fighters have to realize, is that as soon as that last fight is done, you are now promoting your next fight. And that's what, if you look at what separates the fighters, the fighters that are remembered from the fighters that aren't. And I think there's something like, I don't even know the numbers, hundreds of fighters on the UFC roster. If you think of the amount of shows that they're putting on every year, at one point it was like 600 plus fighters on the UFC roster. And I bet you if you went and asked the average person who's watching those, to name off 10 active fighters, after 5 to 10, most of them are going to start not knowing who they are. And so as a fighter, yes, your craft is fighting, and you're not going to excel in the sport if you don't know how to do that. But if you want to move up the ranks, you need to be able to promote your next fight. And I found this really interesting, that one of the people that has done a fantastic job of promoting himself and getting and jumping up the ladder faster was Sean O'Malley. But if you look what happened after that fight, he was so caught off guard by that win. I could see it in his eyes. He didn't think that he won that fight. And no matter what anyone says, that's the truth of what happened. But if you look at what O'Malley said after that fight, he had an opportunity. He just beat the #1 ranked guy. And so of course the next fight is for the championship, and he backed away from it. He didn't set up his next fight. And I found that really interesting for a guy that promotes himself so well, not having that next fight set up. And so I think that was definitely a big miss on his part. So as you're looking at the fights, try and think about it from a marketing perspective. Like, are these guys doing what they need to do to set up their next fight? Is it selling tickets? That's one of the reasons that the UFC let go of Mighty Mouse. They didn't feel like he sold enough tickets. Now, there's another conversation and another argument for that in the future. But at the end of the day, there's a promotion that has to happen to go along with the fights themselves. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, like and subscribe so that I can continue to put out new content. And I'll see you on the next one, where I give you more marketing tips and how to future-proof your marketing. All right, I'll see you later. Hey, it's Nick Pfeiffer here, and I want to thank you for watching this video. And if you haven't done it yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that notification button, and be on the lookout for the next video. And if you want another video, here's one right here on the page for you to watch.